Greetings, my human friends. This again is Rudolf of Germany, the tall white alien. And today I would like to speak about the art of living. To most of you, life is a dreadful experience. Between birth and death, there is quite a lot of struggle. May it be financial or health-wise. May it be that you haven't found your place in life yet, and you are going up in age and still are pondering what is it all about. In almost any of the more or less intelligent ones of you, these questions about the reasons of being and what a human is, all the philosophical questions which have been taken so seriously in the last thousands of years, will eventually pass your mind as well. People talk about, with others, about the sense and the reason of life and where life comes from. Philosophers, the brightest minds in the last thousands of years, people who have lived 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago in the East, in the West, the brightest minds are still known to man today. When you study philosophy, you cannot pass by certain names of philosophers, and you cannot avoid reading about these people and their thoughts and philosophies and compare them with each other in order to find some kind of answer to the question of life itself. But after you have studied maybe philosophy in the university or just for yourself, and you go through all the books you can find, and years have passed, you still are struggling to make sense of it all. And you still are unsatisfied with the answers of all the philosophers who ever have lived on this planet. It cannot be otherwise. It cannot be otherwise because none of the philosophers, besides having some theoretical thoughts and maybe logical conclusions, did not get any further into the answer or came to a final conclusion. Philosophy is, in reality, the most wasteful of all arts. Men have spent, and the finest minds of men have been used to ponder philosophies and the reasons of life for thousands and thousands of years. And the answer they are still owing us. So one may ask, if there's any bit of sense in the mind of a man or a woman, why bother? Why bother even thinking of something people who have been 20 times as smart as me have never ever found an answer for? Aren't the people who discard these questions, which have no answers, aren't these people smarter than the philosophers of the past and the present and maybe of the future? Aren't people who are more practical in thinking, using their mind and their senses to solve solvable problems? to ask questions about things which have probably even an answer. If you're a baker, you may think of a new recipe. If you're a car mechanic and you have a car with a problem which does not run, you think about it. You check the car and eventually you come up with an answer. What may be wrong with it? You work it and eventually the car runs fine again. You had a problem. You thought of a solution. You practically implied the solution and you get finally some kind of problem resolved. That is intelligence, my friends. People who ponder a lifelong the most sacred questions which a human by DNA is not built for to have the answer are wasting their life. Leave the big questions for us, the tall white aliens, because you are genetically not built to get around these questions and come up with the answer. Do what you are built for. Do what you are constructed for. You are made to function well, have some fun, be able to get around in your life with society. Of course, you're having some problems. You have wars, you cannot get along with your neighbor, and most of the time you cannot get even along with yourself. These are little faults built in. Because as long as you are involved with your neighbors, yourself, and with your struggle, then you cannot rest and you cannot concentrate on that which might even bring you to the point where you understand totality. Only the highest developed hybrids have a faint idea about totality and the beauty of it. The average man lives an average life, and as I said, I suggest to you, try to find solutions for answers, for problems you have, which are in the reign of your mental capacities. You have a garden, you would like to plant some plants, think about it, you want to paint your house green or gray or red. You will come up with an answer and you will do it, you will exercise, you will realize that what your mind has planned before, and that shall be it. Make your life as comfortable as possible, live as healthy as you can, enjoy as much time as you have. But don't bother with philosophical questions you will never be able to answer. It's a waste of time. Don't study philosophy. In reality, a philosopher is not very intelligent because he has not put into his calculations the capacities and the limits of his own mind before he starts asking the question. If he would have had done it, if he would have first checked his mind for its capacity, he would only ask questions he could find an answer for. And that is the main fault of all of the philosophers of the past, of the present, and of the future. They're thinking about stuff which they don't have the capacity to answer. Rudolf of Germany.